So our next speaker is Philippa Wagner. She's the Green Cart Implementation Leader at the City of Calgary. Let's give a warm welcome to Philippa.
Yes, thank you very much for having me this evening. I do appreciate the time and the opportunity to talk to you about Green Cart. So I'm going to start off my presentation with a bit of disappointing news, and I know some people are very excited and want to know when this program will be rolled out. And although I do have this information, I'm unable to share it with you at this point, but I can pretty much guarantee that within 48 hours, if you watch the news, you will find out the information you are desiring. So check the website.
Give us hints.
Very, very
hints. Just non-committal hints.
It now says summer. It used to say mid-2017, so I'm getting closer. All right, so the Green Cart program, if you're not aware, is the food and yard waste collection program that will start in Calgary this year. And it's part of the city's goal to reach our 70% diversion target by the year 2025. And that diversion target applies to all sources of waste. So waste doesn't just come from our homes, as you know, it comes from apartments and condos, which are also homes as well, businesses and organizations, and the construction and demolition sector. So all of those sectors contribute to our waste, and we're trying to divert 70% of all of that waste by the year 2025. Right now, overall, we're at about 31%. We're a little bit higher in single-family homes, but overall, we're at 31%. So we do have a ways to go. But how will Green Cart help get us there? Well, as you can see from this diagram, right now we collect in the black carts every year. 65% of that material is food and yard waste, could be composted. So that is huge. So if we can get that 65% out of the black carts and into the green carts, we will significantly increase not only the single family contribution to diversion, but overall as well. So who will be getting Green Cart service? Basically, if you're getting blue and black cart service from the City of Calgary right now, you will be getting a Green Cart. There are some small exceptions, but on the whole, that's it. And that's about 320,000 homes will be receiving Green Carts this year. It's kind of interesting to note that once we roll out this program, we'll be close to having 1 million carts out in the City of Calgary once you add up the black, blue, and green together. So it's a lot of carts that we need to look after. For those that are not in single-family homes, we want to know you're not left out. We've made similar changes to the waste and recycling bylaw that we did for recycling, and so that it will be mandated by November 1st of this year that all apartments and condos will have to have some form of food and yard waste separation and processing as well. So not as long as a gap for food and yard waste as there was between recycling between the blue cart and us changing the bylaw for that. So it was a very successful way to get everybody on board for food and yard or recycling, so we'll do the same for organics. When residents receive their carts, they will receive a starter kit as well. So a little different than blue and black cart, where just basically they got the cart and some information. We'll also be including a kitchen pail for residents to separate out their food waste in the kitchen, some samples of the compostable bag liners. They'll receive 10 of those, and 5 paper yard waste bags that they can use for excess material in like the spring and fall yard waste times, or any times that they have more yard waste than can fit in the cart. So yeah. And also an instruction guide and a collection calendar as well. So this program goes beyond what people can backyard compost or even vermicompost, as we talked about this evening, in that it takes all food and yard waste. So people typically, when they're composting at home, it's fruit and vegetable scraps that they're putting in. This program can take anything that's food, so meat and fish and bones, your pizza crust, your bread rolls. Everyone says cheese, but I'm like, who throws away cheese unless it's moldy? And they won't let me put up a picture of moldy cheese. So we have a nice block of cheese there, but no, you should eat that. But if it does go moldy, you can put that in the package. We can also take all forms of yard waste, so that includes even branches up to 6 inches in diameter, weeds that have gone to seed, something else people are sometimes reluctant to put in their green carts, sod, all those kinds of things, as well as food soiled paper, so your true paper plates, so not any kind of coatings or anything like that, and napkins and paper towels can all go in as well, Kleenexes, and pet waste, so cat litter and dog poop, yes, it can go in the green cart. Yeah. As most of my garbage, I think, is cat litter. And no, I'm not a crazy cat litter person, but that means I just have 2 cats, and there's a lot of cat litter. I'm very excited to be able to divert that material. We do ask that if you're using bags, they are not plastic bags. They do need to be certified compostable bags. The logos that are on the bottom left of the screen, those are the logos that you want to look for on a package of boxes or box of bags. And that will show that they are truly compostable, which means they will 100% break down in our system and not leave any traces of anything. Things that are like oxo-biodegradable or biodegradable don't break down entirely. They just shred into really small pieces of plastic, and nobody wants that in their finished compost. Collection days are changing. This is a big change. And not only will you have one collection day a week, you will have, on some weeks you will have two. So your blue and green carts will be picked up every week on the same day. And then the black cart collection goes from weekly collection, and it goes to every second week because half of your waste is now in your green cart. It's on a different day as well. We need to just stagger the collection days. There are some areas of Calgary that cannot set out 3 carts on one day. They just don't have the space. And so we're staggering it so that that day, black cart's on a separate day. But we're not going to leave you in the lurch trying to figure out what your collection schedule is, because it is a little bit more complicated. There is a system you can use. I won't go through it right now, but if you go to already, you can go to calgary.ca/collection. You can type in your address. Right now it'll tell you what their collection day is, but you can then sign up. You can sign up for a text alert, an email, a phone call if you're old school. You can also download, there's an entire app for both iPhones and Android phones that tells you your collection date. I got a reminder tonight, 6 o'clock, it pops up. It's garbage day tomorrow, don't forget to put out your blue and your black carts. You can have the reminder come up like the evening before or the morning of. So if you want that reminder just as you're running out the door, don't forget to put the carts out, it'll do that. If you want to print a schedule, you can also print a schedule from that. So if you want something you can put up on the fridge. Other tip, if your kids are responsible for putting out the garbage, you can sign them up for alerts so that they remember to put out the garbage. Programs like this we can't offer them for free, they do come with a cost. And so the rate for 2017, there is no charge, so service will start and nobody will pay until January 1st, 2018. Council has made that decision as a way of supporting residents through a tough economic time. But starting in January 2018, the fee will be $6.50 a month. Then the question is, well, you're cutting my garbage in half and you're going to every second week. Will my garbage fee go down? What you see on your utility bill on that NMAX bill is called the waste management charge. That pays for helping support the landfills to manage the waste, not the actual collection. The collection of your black cart is paid for by your property taxes. So the $10 million that we're going to save by going to every second week garbage is keeping this fee at $6.50 a month. It's been transferred over instead of this fee being higher and that $10 million going somewhere else. It's staying within waste and recycling, and it just means that it's offsetting that fee. So what happens to the finished compost? So if anybody has driven down Stony Trail anytime recently, just looked over just south of 114th Avenue, there is 3 really, really large buildings being constructed, and you can see an aerial photo of them there. And that's the composting facility, the organics facility. So the large building that you can see is the actual where the processing will happen. So that means all the trucks will empty, pull up, empty in there, and then the compost or all the material, food and yard waste is shredded and moved into some really, really large vessels. So these are like tunnels, and they're 55 meters long. I'm going to say like 8 or 10 meters high and about the same wide. They are massive tunnels. And then once one of those vessels is filled, they seal it up. It sits in there for about 3 weeks. It's aerated. They monitor the temperature, the moisture, get all that composting happen. And then it's moved to the second largest building that you can see. And that one is the curing building, where it will sit for another 3 weeks, again being aerated as we go along to make sure that odors are controlled and the composting cures. And the final smaller building is the storage building, where the finished compost will be placed before it is ready for sale. So most of the compost will be sold. The processor that's operating the facility is responsible for marketing and selling the compost, and that material will be sold to mainly bulk buyers, so landscapers and soil blenders, places like that, to then be blended and sold to the public. A small amount will be returned to the city for our use, and we'll use that for community gardens, to support community gardens, and there will also be giveaway days for residents as well. So that's about my 10 minutes, which is what I was allotted. I usually talk for a lot longer, so I've given you a very quick overview. I will be around afterwards if you do have more questions, because a lot of people do have, it's a great new program. We're excited to introduce it. A lot of people want to know what's happening. Thank you.